Hi, this is Cecilia from Tarot by Cecilia, and this is your weekly tarot guidance for the week of April 18th through the 24th of 2016. Wow, it took me a few minutes to come stay here by these cards and do them after I put them down. I really just wanted to give it a lot of thought because I'll tell you, there's so much going on right now. All right, we've already had Saturn and Jupiter go retrograde. And at the end of last week, on the 17th, we had Mars go retrograde. Now, each planet has a different thing, that it rules and does and all of that stuff, and that it's known for. They all have nicknames. Now, on the 18th, we have Pluto going retrograde. And Mercury is already in shadow and retrogrades on the 28th or the 29th, I believe. So, and this week has a full moon in Scorpio. So we have a lot of intensity at play here. There's an awful lot going on. And, that retrograde motion, I don't think it brings everything to a halt. I think it actually helps bring things to where they need to be, given the time, as each planet deals with something. So, now let's talk about this, what's here in the cards. There are some positive things, most definitely. But one of the reasons I'm finding hard to put words with this week, all right, is the feeling of this. It's like, just that storm that's been in your life, it's time for it to start to pass. It's time to put at least one thing to rest. There's some very interesting things here. By the time the week is over, all right, you're going to see that there is motion. And I'm jumping to the end here because I want you to know this, because there is just so much, all right? When change occurs, it occurs suddenly. Information coming from all different places, all right? Things that you need to be aware of. There's some of it's exciting. Some of it's just, it's like mind-boggling. Okay, this is probably why I'm sitting here going, not that I'm at a loss for words, because everybody's story is different, and you're going to find that something pretty major happens this week, even though it's not so much that the cards are all major or anything like that. It's the idea that there is some form of a release taking place, and it just happens. It can be anything. So don't think it's necessarily the one thing that you've been waiting for. It could be something else. But it definitely has an impact on your life. Keep this in mind. So, there's this whole, if you've just been sitting there, hanging on tight, waiting for something to happen, no. You're going to be one of those ones where the universe says, and just kind of, life is ready to explode. You're not going to be able to just sit there and do nothing. So this shakes you up and gets you going, and not in a bad way. Not in a bad way. There's kind of like a finally in here, all right? Some sort of a finally. So whether you finally receive, I think, a piece of news, and that gives me the chills as I say it, like a piece of news that you've been waiting for. So this is just so important to you. But this whole thing, with the release, there have been an awful lot of fears associated with the one big issue, and even with some of the others. And one of the things that I like to discuss with people sometimes is, what comes after you do all of this. Life comes, but we don't always realize it. Okay, sometimes we're living in a little dark space of our own because we can't possibly comprehend that if things are so bad right now, that they could get better. Know that they can. There's something that you're going to be very successful at this week. And you know what? I have to tell you, it not only makes you feel like you're taking back your power and getting ready, not that you like totally have it, but it's that like step where you can take hold of it and know that you can start to do things, because what you have is a renewal of faith. I think it was sort of kind of feeling iffy for a while, no matter how much has changed and no matter how much was going on, because you just couldn't seem to get past that limbo that you were in. Big changes, big difference. And you're going to find that you really can organize your life. Now, trying to explain, because like I said, there's so many planets. I don't want to go into all of them right now. But one of the things with Pluto, we'll mention Pluto because it's this week, all right, is like when it's retrograde, it's more of an inner thing. So you do a lot of soul searching during the next 6 months about what you really want in your life and how you want to lead it. What people do you want to be with? Because that's what I see here, everywhere. I see you ready with your sword. No, will not be. So it's not just a matter of like clearing your path. It's like clearing away the negative energy, and you'll have nothing to do with it. So this is good. So see, retrogrades are really not to be feared. Okay, they are there, I truly believe, to help you. But one of the things that we all have a problem with is if we go along and just try to do the opposite of what it is we should be doing. But once we kind of get in tune and get with the flow, there's a big difference here. So I'm really in awe of this. I think that this is a week that brings a great deal of clarity. You know, there's a little bit of pain associated with this, okay? I would not be surprised if some of you shed a tear or two over what's going on. It's like, it was hard to get you to let go, but the universe has pried it from your hands and said, it's got to be. This is it. All right, so it's time. And it's not showing it as endings, okay? It's just showing it more as a painful loss, but a loss that's to be celebrated, because what you're losing is giving you so much more. This is good. And you know what? It's difficult to explain unless I started talking like a case-by-case scenario. Maybe one of the things that I could equate it to is divorce, all right? Maybe finally those papers, they get signed and it becomes real, all right? So, it's like, it just was, it took too long for some reason, but that's done. And there, you see, that's the thing. It's like, it's something that you were trying to get, so you're happy about it, and you're ready to celebrate it, but at the same time, there's pain associated with it. So you see where it's kind of, whatever your situation is, there's things that are happening here. And there's so much positive energy here for you this week. You see, I don't feel like it's negative, but anything that you perceive as negative is probably that clearing away. Because Pluto's going to help you now over the next 6 months to clear away. And this is going to be a good thing, because Pluto will go direct on September 26th. So by October, you're there. All right? All these other planets, all this, it's all going to be like an open road. So keep that in mind, because there's a lot that's happening. And you can work these retrogrades to your benefit. Now, the thing of it is here, there's still a lot of details to be worked out. All right? And there's a lot of motion that's going back and forth and back and forth. All right? You desire change. Sometimes emotions want to get in the way. But you need to be realistic with your change, okay? Now, working with others. See, I really feel that what's going on, and I know I discuss it in other videos and in posts that I write, things like that. There is this sense of, and it has a lot to do with this Pluto thing, this figuring out who you want by your side and who you don't. Okay? So as you do this and your focus is on your security, you're going to pick the people that you know you can trust. I once knew someone who their motto was keep your enemies close, no, keep your friends close and your enemies closer. And really all this person was a deceitful gossip who was out to get everybody. All right. It was more like she was the enemy. Okay. So this is a different phase of life. This is where you say, I don't have time for that. All right. I just want to be with my tribe. I want to be with the people that are going to be good to me, the people who stand by me. All right. The people who are there for me, your actual allies. I can't emphasize this enough. And it's not even me telling you, it's the idea that this is how you're going to feel. Enough of that other nonsense. Forget those people. No need for them. Because really all they will do is, stab you in the back. Now, leaving that stressful past behind. You're working on it. You're working on it. You're certainly headed in that direction. Okay? Headed in that direction. There's been a lot of sacrifice that's been made, and for many various reasons. So, now, here's something. Creating balance in relationships. All right? See, you're going to spend all of this time coming up reassessing your commitments. I'm telling you, that's what's going to start now. All right? Let's say, like I mentioned, a divorce. You get a divorce. You're really going to think twice now about all of this, how you handle relationships. This is a very big thing. It doesn't show it up as big, but I guarantee you that 6 months from now, you're going to be feeling a whole lot different about how you approach things. But know that this week, before this month is over, and likely this week, something is happening, all right? And it's a very karmic moment in your life. Now, I'm putting down some more cards, and oh my goodness, there is just so much. I'm telling you, it's time to just say, enough, enough, enough. Oh my word, how much more of this? See, it's about to change. It is about to change. And that is wonderful. This week, people, contains a lot of information, okay? I mentioned that back at the beginning, but I think I need to emphasize it more. There is a lot of information, so pay attention to everything that comes your way and everything that you hear, because sometimes you might not think things mean anything. Apparently they do. Interesting. Try to, like I said, we're working on some balance here, so try to just go with the flow as much as you can. There is this, like the little voice, not in your head, all right, but the little one that talks to you that says, okay, what do you need? What do you want? I want to go get it for you. All right, that's sending it out to the universe type of thing. All right, everybody's idea of abundance is different, and I like this a lot. It's time to have a vision, but to make sure that your vision, it really doesn't incorporate the past other than the lessons that you learned from it, okay? And, there is some form of structure here that plays a part, I think, in pretty much everyone's change that's coming for them. So that can be anything. It can be legal. It can be housing. It can be business. All kinds of things. But where society rules and you kind of have to conform a little bit along the way. So there were rules and regulations you had to follow to get to this point. But you've done that. And what I find here, and it's very interesting, and I see it when I do personal readings for people every day, people are learning how to make better choices. And this is a very good thing, because very often we don't see the patterns in how we choose. So this is good. And sometimes, it's not that easy to hear, but you really need to think with your mind rationally and not with your heart to often come up with what the actual, choice should be and not let emotion rule you. I have to put down another one because I just have to know. See, such a change. You're standing strong. I have to tell you, you're standing strong. And I've told many of you, like your routine in life, it's going to change. What you're headed for is a rebirth. Okay, the motion that's taking place this week is taking you toward that rebirth in your life. Keep that in mind, all right? New routines and the abundance that you seek. So you're going to leave behind some of the stressful situations. It's like if you could leave one of them behind this week, you'd start feeling a whole lot better. It's just the idea that the choices thing that I mentioned is one of the most important things here in this entire reading, because the change won't do you any good if you're still going to repeat the same old patterns. Got that? Okay. Now, I think I'm going to stop there, and we'll talk again next week. And I want to say thank you all for listening. And I want to tell you that when you look on my written posts, which are available through WordPress, Facebook, Twitter, you can go to the bottom and you'll see that there are several groups there that I have, including a new one that I just started called Tarot by Cecilia, the group. Okay, and it's a closed group on Facebook, so there's more privacy there. There's more room for discussion, people helping people, and all of us getting together to talk about different topics, as well as a place where you can find my posts, because it helps with some of the problems that people have been having getting my post to come up in their news feed. So I think I mentioned that before, that there are so many people who contact me and say, "Where'd your post go?" So that will help tremendously to be a part of something like that where they'll be there, as well as some of the other places that you can find them. I recommend maybe following email or something like that, where you can guarantee that they're coming through a different source. All right, so thank you, everybody. Take care. I'll see you here again next week.